Good morning. Who knows what's trending in the Middle East right now?
باشا بقول لك ايه انا نسيت اقول لك اني بخاف بقول لك انت مش قلت هتيجي الاول ولا ايه يلا اشوفك هناك ان شاء الله السلام عليكم
About 6 years ago, I was sitting at a conference a bit like this, and all of a sudden it just went completely black. At first I thought I had fallen asleep because I thought the presentation was not that interesting. But it turns out I actually had had a pretty major brain bleeding, and most people would have died on impact. I was very lucky, I didn't die, but I was told that now you're a ticking bomb, any change in your blood pressure and you might just be out. So you better go and get some medical work done on you quickly. So I was very fortunate that I could go to the US, to Cleveland Clinic, and I had a series of brain surgeries. And very happy and lucky and blessed to stand here today as Magnus 2.0, the upgraded version. A little bit faster, a little bit wiser, possibly more handsome as well. Now, this experience was pretty emotional and scary when you have to face that you might actually not live any longer. And for me, it gave an opportunity to really reflect on life. What's really important in life? Why am I here? What am I going to do with this time? And what's my purpose? So I spent quite some time meditating and thinking about this, and I came up with my 3 life commandments. Some of us, we live by 10 commandments in life. Some of us have 5 pillars. I have the Magnus 3 life commandments, and I will share them with you now. First one is that the discount rate on life is really high. Sounds like something from a finance book. What does it mean? It means that happiness in a year, happiness in a month, happiness in a week, even happiness tomorrow is fantastic, but it comes at a big discount to happiness today. You cannot postpone life. You have to live now. So if you look yourself in the mirror too many days in a row and you say, why am I doing this? It's time to change. The second commandment, and this was really a game changer for me, is you're going to be fine. And the notion is, I believe you can live life either from a paradigm of abundance, there is enough to go around, the more you give, the more you get, or you live of scarcity. And most of us, we believe in scarcity. We keep piling and collecting things, whether it is money in the bank, academic titles, professional achievements, until that one day when we feel, now I'm fine, and I can start living. Guess what? All of us in this room, we are so fortunate and so blessed, we're all going to be fine. And when you realize that you're going to be fine, you can no longer live your life as if you're just working on survival. Most of us live our lives as we're just surviving, whether it is putting bread on the table, or whether it's buying our second Lamborghini, it's an act of survival. But when you realize you're going to be fine, then you really need to find, what is my purpose? What am I going to do in this lifetime? And the third commandment is to let go of the fear. The reason I started taking apart computers when I was 7, the reason I loved math in school, the reason I started my first company when I was 14, was because I was curious. Curiosity and passion was my driving force. But over the years, and particularly in college, and even more so in the corporate life, and even more so in a management consulting company, fear was creeping in. Fear of the client, fear of the boss, fear of not delivering. And fear is horrible. It's like a poison. It starts making you do all the wrong things in life, and for the wrong reasons. So you have to, if you believe that the discount rate on life is high, you need to live now, and you believe you're going to be fine, there's no place for fear. Let it go, and go back to living with your passion. So equipped with these 3 commandments, I went back to the Middle East, and I quit my job, my corporate job, and I told them, I'm going to go out and find my purpose. And they said, wow, what's your purpose? And I said, I have no idea, but I'm going to find it. How do you find your purpose? I did the most cliche thing you can think. I took a plane to Thailand, and I sat with some monks and meditated, waiting for the purpose to fall down. Guess what? It didn't. But what I did realize was that I want to build something, and I want to build something that is meaningful and something that is big. If life is short and it's about doing your purpose, let's not waste it on doing something small, and let's not waste it doing something that is not meaningful. So I realized I have to do something meaningful and big. I came back to the Middle East, and together with who became my co-founder, Mudassir, we started looking for big and meaningful opportunities. What's meaningful? Healthcare feels meaningful. Education feels meaningful. So we started looking at many industries. And the first thing we realized was, wow, our region is amazing. We call it the broader Middle East, North Africa, Turkey, and Pakistan. 700 million people, 10% of the world population live here. And the people are young. Half of the people are less than 25 years old. And they're super connected. Smartphone penetration is at 40%, which is in line with China. This is a super, super, super big opportunity. The region is amazing. So, okay, we can do something big. What about meaningful? Someone brought up the idea of transportation. And when we first looked at it, really, how meaningful is transportation? Not that meaningful, we felt. But then we looked again, and we realized that particularly in the region, transportation is a challenge. In most places, public transport infrastructure do not exist. It's not like in Berlin or in Stockholm, where I'm from, or in the US, where we have, buses and trains and trams and metros and bikes and whatever. Transportation is a problem, and it really causes people friction in living their daily lives. Whether it is in Egypt, where traffic is horrendous, you can spend 3 hours going from the west part of Cairo to the east part of Cairo. Whether you are in Pakistan, where security is a big challenge. Will you actually arrive safely when you're going someplace? Or we have Saudi Arabia, where women still don't drive. And of course, we also have in the mix UAE with Dubai, where we started, where transportation is more evolved, but you have an enormous amount of tourists coming every year that needs to find a way to move around. So we said, okay, transportation, it's big, the region is big, and this could be meaningful. Let's create something, and let's call it Careem. Careem in Arabic means generous. And this is the core value of the organization that we started, almost 5 years ago now. And the mission, which is the purpose, which is eternal, we will never finish with our mission, is to simplify and improve the lives of people in the region, and to build an awesome organization that inspires. We need to inspire the region by building a fantastic, fantastic organization that people can look up to. Like we're looking up to Facebook or Google or Twitter or whatever. So we set out to do that 5 years ago, and now, where we are today, we have expanded. We're in 13 countries in the region. We are in 80 cities. We have grown to more than 2,000 colleagues, and we have 250,000, that's 250,000 captains that are working with us. That's employment opportunities that we have created in the region. And as of last year, we also joined the club of becoming the first uni-camel, which is basically a unicorn in the Middle East, uni-camel. All this sounds amazing, but it's not what it's really about. What it's really about is about being Careem and improving lives. We want to improve the lives of customers by enabling mobility, enabling them to go on and do their lives. We want to be Careem to our captains, which is what we call our drivers, by creating employment and giving them self-respect and a chance to become entrepreneurs themselves. We want to be Careem to our colleagues by providing an environment where people can learn and grow and develop. And we want to be Careem to our communities where we operate and really care for them because it's our home. So I'll talk very briefly about each of them. So Careem to our customers. 80%, about 70 to 80% of our customers are women today. If you're a woman in Saudi Arabia, you don't drive today. There's various reasons for that. And the estimates are that there's about 3 million women in Saudi, 3 million women in Saudi Arabia that would love to work, but they don't have a way to get to and from work. There is not an affordable, convenient, and safe way to go to and from work. So when we are expanding and building mobility options across the region, we are enabling social change and social progression. And the same is true for what we're doing in Pakistan, what we're doing in Egypt, and all across the region. On the side of captains, it's all about creating employment. The region is unfortunately plagued with high unemployment, particularly youth unemployment. And what we have realized is that giving people a chance to become a captain is actually giving them a chance to be their own boss. They join Careem network, whether they have a car of their own, or whether we can help them facilitate a car, and they can start driving on their own terms. And they can become mini entrepreneurs. There is so many stories of captains that joined us early that maybe had a rented car to begin with, and after making enough money, they could buy their own car, and then they could buy a second car and become a mini entrepreneur. We call it Careemapreneur. It's amazing to give people fish, but it's even more amazing to help people learn how to fish and be able to do it for themselves. And this is a small video that is just highlighting a little bit about the lives of our captains.
I'm a super captain.
We are really proud.
Mabruk. Amazing news, man.
Thank you.
I thought I'll be coming for the customer. I was expecting a person to come outside.
It was not for the guests, it was for us.
This surprise, and it's amazing.
Just support Careem and Careem will support you always.
So caring for captains is really core to us. And as I mentioned, we have 250,000 captains that are registered with us today, and the goal in the next 2 years is to create 1 million jobs in the Middle East. We're going to be the biggest job creator in the region. The third group that we want to be Careem to is our colleagues. As I mentioned in our mission, our purpose is to simplify and improve the lives of people in the region, but we also want to build an awesome organization that inspires. Why do we think this is important? We think it's important because the broader region has amazing talent. Super bright young people, engineers, designers, product people, marketing people, from all sort of backgrounds and traits. And they have passions, and they have skills, and they have capabilities. But up until now, we haven't had any amazing tech companies at scale from the Middle East. So what do these people do? Many of them, they go elsewhere, and they help build companies in the US or in other parts of Asia or in Europe to become successful. We want to create a place in the Middle East where people can deploy their talents and skills and passions at home, in the region, for the region, from the region. And so far, we have grown, and we're about 2,000 colleagues in Careem today. I think 50 different nationalities, super diverse. 30% of our colleagues are female, and average age is about 28 years old. And we want to build a culture where people should not be employees. They should be co-owners and partners in building this. And every single colleague in Careem, from the most senior person to our most junior colleague, has stock options in Careem. So everyone should feel and actually be an owner. And lastly, we talked about being Careem to our communities. When people ask me, what is Careem today? I don't say that we are a ride-hailing company. Most people would label us a ride-hailing company. I say that we are crowdsourcing public transport infrastructure in the region. We're creating jobs, we're enabling mobility, without the government having to invest any money, because there is enough people in society that have money to buy a car, and there's enough people that are willing to drive for a living. And all of a sudden, you have a public transport infrastructure. so the governments can actually spend money on other things like education and healthcare. And we feel that it's our responsibility to really care for the communities where we're in. And this is a small video of some of our recent initiatives.
At Careem, we strive to move our whole region towards better living. From a single ride that gets someone from A to B to creating job opportunities for our captains. Every day, we work to serve people who are going somewhere. But what about those who have nowhere to go? With this in mind, we're giving you the opportunity to be Careem and turn your next ride into their refuge. In partnership with the UNHCR, we've created a unique car type that will add a small amount to your total ride fare, which will go towards alleviating some of the harsh circumstances faced by refugees all over the region. The UNHCR car type offers the same comfort and affordability as an economy booking. Be Careem. Book your ride and donate today.
So being Careem, being generous, is at the core of everything we do. Careem to our customers, Careem to our captains, Careem to our colleagues, and Careem to our communities. Now, to make this happen, to make this mission come true, there is a lot of work we need to do. And a lot of that work is actually related to pretty complex tech topics and tech challenges. So, for example, how do you build a system in a place like Cairo with 16 million people that can dispatch cars in the most optimal way to make sure that captains are getting enough work to make a fair income, while the service is accessible and affordable to most customers, particularly these days in economic tough times? Or how do you scale a system that is growing at 25% month on month? We have basically been growing 10x per year for the last 5 years. How do you handle those scale challenges? Or how can you build systems that can leverage all the information we get from all our customers and captains moving around to build better ETA algorithms, to build better dispatching, to build better pricing algorithms? There's a lot of work that goes on under the hood to make our mission a reality. And our technology teams are based across Dubai, Karachi, and Lahore in Pakistan. And the reason why we're here, and the reason we're so excited, is that as of earlier this year, we actually opened in Berlin. And the team has grown to about a little bit more than 20 people. Most of the crew is here. And our vision for Berlin is really to find really amazing people that want to join us on a journey. Engineers, data scientists, product managers, designers, that really want to come and help us drive meaningful change in the Middle East. So come visit our booth. We're in the main hall, and we would love to talk to you more about what we're doing. Thank you so much.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Man, I'm so inspired to see like the globalization of your country and how you're crossing the boundaries, and it's cool. Anyway, I'm really excited. But we have some questions on slido.com, #TOA Studio 2. And the first question is from Pedro. And he would like to know, how do you believe we may attract more tech professionals and young people to invest and shape the future of the Middle East like you did?
So it's a great question, and it's something that is dear to our hearts. I think what happens is, in an ecosystem, you need to start having some early successes and success stories, because that will inspire others. Why are so many people in the West going into tech? Because they have seen, what has become of, in the early days, Microsoft, or more recently, what has happened with Google, what has happened with Facebook. So we feel that it's our responsibility to really make Careem a massive success for the purpose of inspiring the rest of the tech ecosystem. In addition to that, we're quite active in mentoring and partnering with the broader entrepreneurial ecosystem. I'm personally a mentor in Astro Labs with Google, with Flat 6 Labs with the government of Abu Dhabi. And we try to do our best to really get people going. And there is so much opportunity. 700 million people. There is not a lot of tech companies out there. So we're trying to tell people, go out and become an entrepreneur.
All right, I'm going to steal in one question, and then we'll go to the last question here. Do you have any funny anecdotes with localization or living in a foreign country or misinterpretations through language? I know as an Australian living in Berlin, sometimes I have some. Anything come to mind?
So I think we can talk about localization. You know, we always try to do a lot of marketing gimmicks to create buzz and go viral. And the video you saw, the slingshot, was one of those. Another thing we did in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia at the time of Eid is that it's tradition that you will have a sheep for sacrifice for the first day of Eid. And we essentially created a new car type that we called Odeya, which is the sacrifice. So next to your economy car, your business car, your first class car, you could order a sheep. And we had partnered with an organic halal farm, and the captain went to the farm, they slaughtered the lamb according to tradition, and they packaged it in a box, and we delivered it to the customer on the first day of Eid. Now, sounds amazing. We had one order, because we priced it quite high. But the social media buzz that came as a result was absolutely amazing. I mean, that's being local.
All right, let's jump on to some other questions. I think we have time for one more. Because no one's rating. You can also rate on Slido if you want some more questions. How do you find good talent in the region? It seems like it's not so hard.
So there is a lot of talent in the region, and we are, actually very fortunate. We are hiring people from the broader region, including Arab countries, including the subcontinent. But there has also been, as I mentioned, a lot of people from the region that have had the opportunity have actually left the region and gone to work in Berlin or in the US or somewhere else. So one of our strategies is actually to bring people back. We're telling people, hey, if you have some connection to the region and you maybe have gone somewhere else, come back and do amazing work at Careem. And we're also hiring actually quite a lot of fresh grads. And we feel that it's our responsibility, in addition to getting experienced people, to help young but amazing people to grow.
All right, thank you. Give a big round of applause, everyone. An amazing talk. Thank you so much.